Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. I think we are live. We are live. Fantastic. Okay, so we are going live now. If anyone can see us, and obviously we're here, just drop a hello down below, a hi, obviously drop your name, tell us where you're coming from. If you want to know quite simply, today I'm joined by Lloyd, all the way from Northern Ireland. How's life in Northern Ireland at the moment, Lloyd?
Yeah, it's great, Tom. It's great.
If you want to know, we were talking about it before this call, and Lloyd was like, "Don't talk to me about it. Just don't talk to me." I was like, "Okay, fine. I won't talk."
It's a beautiful place to be locked down. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful place to be locked down. That's fine. Okay. So, quick question to you: lockdown finishes, where are you going to go afterwards? Where's the destination to get away?
Great question. I'd love to go to New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
Love to go to New Zealand. So Sarah and I have been talking about that for a while. Yeah, it'd be great to go to New Zealand.
Fantastic.
It'd be fantastic, yeah.
Fantastic. And
Hobbiton and where the Lord of the Rings was filmed.
Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, yeah. Fantastic. So obviously, if anyone's just joining us today, do just drop a hello down below. Today, obviously, I'm joined with Lloyd. Now, quite simply, if you want to know, we're going to be talking about VAs and also Lloyd's VA team, and in particular about his journey with them, what he's done. I'll let you into a little couple of secrets that are going to be coming up. Lloyd has a purchasing manager in his team, which helps him out, and also as well, he's done a bit around drop shipping, which he's going to share with us as well. Obviously, how much detail he goes into, completely up to him. But obviously, we'll see that, and obviously, Lloyd share with us what's obviously what's going to happen that obviously in time. So obviously, what we'll do is we'll give it a couple more minutes just to let people come in. But obviously, if you're just coming in, drop a hi down below and let us know. We've got Simon who just says hi. So hi, Simon. Fantastic. We've also got a couple of Facebook users. If you don't know, we're using StreamYard. So do obviously accept StreamYard. It allows us to see your name. We've got like a waving hand and an evening, but unfortunately we can't see your name. So do just put that down below. Let us know who you are. And obviously, if you've got any questions throughout this live we're doing today, and then do drop them down below. And the one thing which I will say is, I just want to say thank you to Lloyd to join us, for this live and to share his knowledge. And Lloyd, my God, I've had lots of conversations with you, over the last year about your team.
Yeah, sorry about
that. Hey, these will be really good, actually. I really love them. But I think it's really nice to share that today in this call, and hence why I've asked you to join me today about this, so I can just I can share that journey with other people, and a lot of like what we've talked about. That's fantastic. So we've got Mark here. They're all the lads. Fantastic. Jack, thank you very much. Obviously, hi, guys. Again, if you just want to write hi down below, that's really good of you. And obviously, we can just shout you out. Obviously, if you've got questions, drop them down below. That's going to be really helpful. And we will go through. So run through today, quite simply, we are going to talk to Lloyd about his team, how he's scaling his business with Amazon. And there's quite a lot of eye-opening kind of realizations, I think I'd call them, about we were talking off air beforehand, and my God, there's a lot of things that I went, my problems. Lloyd was like, yeah, completely agree with you on that one. So we'll talk about that, and then obviously we'll go into a Q&A. So if you've got any questions about whether it be me or even Lloyd, you want us to answer, maybe something going on in your business right now, how would we handle it? Maybe you're looking to grow with a VA, maybe getting your first VA, do drop it in, and obviously we can say, I'll answer those questions for you when we get to the Q&A section. So also we've got, is it Sashi? I think that's right. My pronunciation is going to be bad. Hi, fantastic. And then obviously Facebook user as well. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So I think we've got quite a few people in now. So what we'll do is we'll kind of start. So again, if you just want to drop any questions down below, that's great. So first things first, today, if I just kind of do a little bit of background before we kind of jump in. My name's Thomas Parkinson, and I run Fast Track FBA. And quite simply, as part of one of the services we run in Fast Track FBA is the VA Academy. This is whereby we train virtual assistants, manual sourcing assistants, for people's Amazon arbitrage businesses. Now, I'll be completely open and honest. Lloyd was one of our very, very early customers. He got a VA from us at the very beginning, and then also as well, he came back later on and got another one. But it's not so much about him coming back to us and using our service. This is about his journey. using VAs. And he can talk about our service as well, but also as well what he's done, how he's used VAs within his business, what he's learned, what have been the struggles, what have been successes, and maybe where he's going in the future. Lloyd's like, my God, you didn't tell me that. This wasn't what we agreed to.
Yeah. Didn't see that in small print.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you very much to Lloyd for joining us, and also, hey, everyone else here, choosing your Thursday evening to come watch us and to learn about this. Hopefully, you're looking to grow your business, maybe with a VA now, or maybe in the future. You're going to take away some gems today. So, first things first, Lloyd. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't mind, can you just introduce yourself and tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, cool. So my name's Lloyd, based in Northern Ireland. In terms of Amazon, I've been selling on Amazon since 2017. Long story cut short, I started Amazon when another business I was running, me and the business owner decided he would be better off running that business and me doing something else. So it was a cleaning business, very traditional hands-on cleaning business. We hired people to go out and clean for us. We would go out and win business. So I wanted something online, looking all over the place, came across a private label course, didn't do anything for a year, as everyone seems to do, and started selling on Amazon around 2017 Q4. And then the way my previous job worked, it was working from home for an employment law company. So the way that role worked, it was business development, and the busy times of year were kind of the opposite of the busy time for Amazon. So our biggest month was January. So everyone had their budget in January, they didn't spend it, and so on and so forth. And then November, December was like the quietest time for work. So Amazon was perfect. Was very happy to kind of run it as like sort of small scale, part-time, go out and do a bit of RA, bit of OA. And then the company I worked for, they were, not to get into too much detail, they were owned by a private equity company. So the stage that private equity company was at, the atmosphere in work kind of changed start of 2019. And I thought, this isn't such a nice place to work anymore. So I thought, right, I'm really going to give Amazon a good go. That was the start of 2019. So funny trying to add up timescales because last year was such a it just seemed like a very long month. But yeah, so start of 2019, middle of 2019, I thought I'd really push. And one of the reasons why I'm going to throw something out here, Thomas, that you're not expecting. One of the reasons I wanted to come on here was because I was really pushing start of 2019, and I basically had all the bad luck in the world, credit card fraud. I'd spent a lot of money on a product I was getting on, and I bought a deal of Fast Track, and I was just like, God, this price is tanked. And so I messaged you about it, and you actually spent some time with me. So we spent some time going through deals that you sent across, and I was just like, this is amazing. You've analyzed all the deals that I've bought. Basically said, Lloyd, if you weren't such a plonker and didn't lower the price and waited 2 weeks, you'd have been on this amount of profit. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Tom. Yeah, I'm a plonker. So yeah, thank you for doing that, because I thought 2 years in, I was like, this kind of isn't, I'm kind of making money, but the time I'm putting in isn't really worth it. I have a decent enough job working from home. I'm very comfortable. So why am I doing this? Why am I trying to learn all this stuff? So I spoke to you quite a bit. I spoke to another guy called Chris McCauley, an American guy, and I jumped on a live with him and he answered a few questions. So I thanked him personally. So thank you, Tom. And thank you for everyone else. Thank you from everyone else that you helped, because I know you're very helpful. So that was around about September time, 2019. So I thought, after speaking to you, I just really went at it Q4, and over Christmas 2019, is that right? I thought, I can't continue to do this myself. So when the academy was launched, I was like, where do I sign? It was great. I actually remember going the hiring process. I remember going through the hiring process, and I was like, Tom hasn't asked me like what what I want this person to source or anything like that. I was like, I really want to be more involved. And I was like, no, Lloyd, don't be a plonker because you don't have time. So it was done very quickly and very efficiently. And the girl that joined Charmy is just first class, absolutely first class. She's now, like you said, my purchase manager. We get on like a house on fire. She laughs at all my terrible jokes, and yeah, been fantastic. So then, yeah, September, went back to you and hired Cynthia. Again, just absolutely first class. Just the type of person, the service, and just how easy it's been. So it's basically made all the difference.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this isn't it. Do you know what the funny thing is I don't remember having that conversation with you about the deals. I know I've done it before for many people. And the idea is, if you buy a deal and it's like, so many people buy deals and they kind of miss
you outlined all the deals that I bought, because I remember buying them. They were like £2 out of Smith's. They were like Lego Dimensions. So they were like £2 going for 11. By the time I sent them in, they were like £7.50, and I was like, oh god. So I like just broke even on them, and I was like, right, that's that done next. So we analyzed that, and you were like, Lloyd, the price now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a plonker. So there you go. Full disclosure, I'm a plonker.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it. And hey, I'm glad I could help you. And I think that's the point. Is the fact that hopefully you see from us, and you have seen, and whether anyone's watching this, is we try and do a good service and try and help you. And sometimes we don't get it right, and sometimes we're not perfect. But if we can help you, and that's going to support you in your business, we know that that's going to come back. And and I didn't know that was, that I don't remember that, but obviously you want to say thank you, and I really appreciate that. So that's very nice.
Well, genuinely, it was at a point where I just had about, I think it was £3,000 or £4,000 worth of credit card fraud. During the summer, I was kind of recovering from spending all my money on like a couple of products, building far too tall, and so went through that, and I was like, right, I'll give Q4 a go, and I probably wouldn't have went at it so hard, without having that conversation. So yeah, it was kind of not so much a turning point, but it really did kind of just get me back on course. So it was very helpful. So again, thank you for that.
Fantastic. Hey, honestly, I'm glad I could help you. And hey, obviously you're here today, testament to it, and obviously your business is doing well, and obviously you're growing with VAs now. So fantastic. So question for you is, you talked about it. You hired the first VA. You said, I just can't do this. And if you don't, can you tell everyone a little bit about Charmy? I think you said it was your first VA. Yeah. What does she like? What does she do? How does she help you in your business? And I'd love to also hear about the purchasing manager side. Tell me about that. How did it come around? Why did that happen? And how was the process like?
So, in terms of Charmy, Charmy's Filipino, but she's actually based in Japan. She's good fun now. We get on quite well. We have the crack, and yeah, it's great. The first few months was basically just spent time analyzing deals each morning. It was quite like, my setup was really good because I started working from home at 8:30, so I would jump on with her at 7, spend an hour with her, have a chat, and then start my other job. So it worked out well like that. Did that for a few months, and then kind of lockdown happened. Work got very busy, very stressful. Amazon got very busy, and yeah, I couldn't have done it because she was spending time looking for deals, and then yeah, it just really took off.
And if I just come back there, you mentioned she's in Japan now. Obviously, my understanding is, I also know the answer, but people might be like, wow, like, how do you afford someone in Japan? Japan's expensive. Like, how does that work?
Well, kind of testament to the recruitment process, I suppose. So yeah, I don't want to talk about people's pay and things like that too much and personal circumstances, but the job spec and the job advertisement is quite specific. So there was no gray areas around that. There's never been an issue around that. It was something that I was conscious of, and it's something that Sharma and I have had conversations about. So it's on the agenda, and going forward, I've always ran this as a business rather than people working for me. People work with me. Sharmi and Cynthia both have their own email address. They have Sharmi at mycompanyname.com. They have Cynthia at companyname.com. And yeah, it's treated like a business and they're treated well. We're looking at what we want to do in a year's time. We're looking at if they want to do any training, like continue sort of personal development plans, things like that. So we're looking at that. And I mean, Sean and Cynthia both know my door's always open. So if they want to talk about something, if they have ideas, that's what we're here for.
Fantastic, thank you. And you mentioned, and I'm just going to come back to the start. You said initially you were running your work from home job, about 8:30, and you probably jumped on a call about 7 in the morning. What did that look like? Was it like an hour or half an hour a day, or did you need more time? What's it physically like having a VA in your business at the beginning? How much time did you need to allocate to them?
Oh, it was only a year ago, but it seems like so much longer. Yeah, I mean, we'd jump on at 7. It wouldn't necessarily be every morning. I was very conscious that, because I've worked from home for nearly 5 years in that job, and it can be great working from home on your own. You've got your own freedom when it's going well, but if you're not sure about things and you're kind of there on your own, you can kind of feel quite isolated.
Yeah.
So I was, I made sure that, I tried to make sure that she was well supported, and I spent some time with her as well. So, I mean, I kind of chose to spend that time with her.
How many hours would you say a week did you have to spend with her?
I'd say maybe 4 or 5 hours a week, something like that.
Hour a day?
Yeah, an hour a day, yeah.
Hey, I agree. I really agree. And my God, obviously I travel the world, and I say it to people message me, hey, Tom, do you not get lonely traveling the world? You're like, of course I do, but I really enjoy seeing new places. But also as well, I do really find my team keep me happy. Like, I have so many phone calls all the time that it's just fun. They're part of my my friends and my family. That's it.
100%.
That's the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a good laughs every day. Yeah, it's good fun.
Fantastic. So
you interviewed Charmy. She's as mad as a box of frogs. She's some crack, like. She's great.
I do. I still remember interviewing her. That's why it was really funny. Obviously, you talk about. I was like, oh yeah, I remember Charmy. I obviously remember Japan and that conversation. That was really nice. So, quick question for you is: obviously, Charmy now isn't just a sourcer, is she? What is she now?
So Charmy basically oversees the Amazon business, and then we started a dropshipping business as well. Long story short, sort of lockdown time, there was a lot of account suspensions. There was a lot of issues around price gouging. We had our account suspended for just over 3 weeks for a pricing error. So it was a 6-pack of Lynx shower gel that Amazon were selling for £12. We jumped on the listing at 13, and because it jumped up so much, they deemed it price gouging. So we were pulled off Amazon, and it was like 3 months in, hired someone, what am I going to do? So it was, what was it? It was quite convenient for Charmy because it was a holiday in Japan. It's a gardening week or something in Japan. So they have a bank holiday around that time. So she had the day off. And then she came back and she basically said, well, why don't we try dropshipping? I've always been interested in it. So I arranged for her to go through a course. She rattled through this course and we set up an eBay dropshipping business. So the way it works, it's AliExpress to eBay. There's another website called CJ Dropshipping, which is similar to AliExpress. So you create a listing on eBay, someone buys something off eBay, and then it's fulfilled by CJ Dropshipping or AliExpress. So she set that up. She managed that herself. And then when we got the account back, I kind of said, right, well, let's get back onto Amazon because we've got a pile of stock sitting here. Let's go. What about the dropshipping? And she said, well, if you're okay with it, I found someone to take it over. And I was like, you're a legend. So she started, and the two businesses kind of, well, the drop shipping, has been going since, and the Amazon's grown as well. So
fantastic. And if I just clarify, and I want to be crystal clear to everyone here, is to say that Shami found the staff for the drop shipping, didn't she?
100%, yeah. I didn't ask her to. She did all that off her own bat. So,
and hey, look, here's a really interesting thing. I just want to kind of highlight it to people, the fact that you've hired a great member of staff, and that staff member's gone on their own to think about, oh, we're going to need someone else soon, and she's kept an eye out, and then she's found someone, and obviously she knew she was going to go back to Amazon. She actually started, oh my God, she's like helping you grow your business without you. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, yeah. Just when we were talking previously, I mean, the kind of the biggest regret I've had with the team is not giving them more responsibility earlier. Just one of those things, isn't it?
And if you do, how do you? I agree with you, but if someone doesn't know what you mean by that, what do you mean? What does that mean? If someone's like, how do you mean more responsibility?
Okay, so in September we hired Cynthia, and obviously it wasn't just Charmy's deals, it wasn't just wholesale, it was Cynthia's deals, and then we used tactical arbitrage as well. So there was a lot of deals coming through. So I became a bottleneck in my business where all these deals were coming through. Charmy had built baskets saying, Lloyd, would you ever just buy that so we can create listings and get it into the prep center? And I was like, yeah, okay. Oh, there's a dog here. Go on, puppy, go. So yeah, I was the bottleneck in that. So I think it was the start of November where I just said, Charmy, here's all the credit cards, fill your boots, off you go. So and yeah, it just took off start of November whenever, excuse me, sorry, let's close this door. Yeah, so it just took off from them. And in hindsight, I should have done that a long time ago. But
yeah, hey, if we just kind of clarify, if I give you a good, oh my God, it's a really bad example. It's bad. It's embarrassing, should we say? Oh my God, 3 years ago, I think so. I was in Thailand, and I was just, I'm the first person. I've never been abroad ever, and I'm living abroad now in Thailand, living the dream, should we say? And what was I doing? I was just getting drunk a lot, and quite a lot of the time, I would wake up, and my staff would have lots of deals, and I'd just be like, I'm too hungover, I can't buy. Basically, I was too lazy, and it was really bad. It was really bad on me. Why? Because my staff are getting reward, they're incentivized to make profits within my business, and at the end of the day, it was me, my inability or my inaction to reap the rewards of what my staff are doing because I'm paying them, that's affecting them. And you're like, that's just a recipe for disaster. Now, I'm not saying that anyone else is as bad as I was, or Lloyd, you were as well, but I'm sure there's all times in our business where we're just like, oh, just do it tomorrow, or like, I just do it. And you're like, actually, you know what? I'm the problem, and I need to say, there you go, here's the credit cards. And I literally did exactly the same to you. And we talked about this off air, and quite simply, I gave the credit cards, and it didn't work out brilliantly. And we had problems, and they purchased the wrong deals, and et cetera, et cetera. But I could talk about that forever. But let me ask you the question. Obviously, you did give the credit cards to Shami. How did you go about doing that? What were the controls? Obviously, you must have been worried. My God, would she not run away with your credit cards and go buy a Ferrari or something?
Yeah, right enough, she was wearing a really nice fur coat around Christmas time. It's like penny drop.
Versace all down the line.
Yeah, all that. Honestly, no. The reason I didn't do it earlier wasn't that I didn't trust any of them, because I didn't trust either Charmy or something. It wasn't anything like that. It was kind of just everything else kind of got in the way, and it's like, so I just didn't do it. Another thing that Charmy suggested really earlier on is I don't know if you guys use it. It's like a website called LastPass. It stores all their passwords, your credit cards, so they're all stored in there. And yeah, I would see a few people saying, sort of giving advice and things on Facebook about not using credit cards. I would encourage people to use credit cards rather than a debit card, because not for the credit it gives you, but for the protection. So I've been through credit card fraud. It was more annoying than anything because I knew it would get fixed. I was chatting to Samir the other day, actually. It took 2 weeks, and he was like, that should have been a lot quicker. So really, using credit cards and things, it's maybe a bit of change of perspective, but really there's no issue with trust or anything like that at all. No, there's no issue around that.
And that's, I think, a couple of things. I just want to kind of delve around this a bit more. I think number one, it's really nice in the fact that you've got a VA who you trust, and obviously that trust doesn't happen overnight. It's got to be built up over time. But you said it, Charmy, lovely girl, and I still remember interviewing her. She was great fun. But you've built that relationship over time, and then also you've identified that, hey, I'm the problem. I need to get out of my way and allow my business to grow without me. Because I'm the roadmate now, and I've got a resource, i.e. a member of staff in place who can utilize or do that process that's going to help me. And it is just a process. I think Lloyd was saying it, all your baskets were made. You then had to physically purchase them and then do it all. And it's just like, and that, we said it off air. That's the most boring part of it. Sourcing's fun. It's exciting. You found something. Buying is not fun at all. So obviously you trusted her. That was great. Does she?
And as well as that, it's almost, sorry to cut across you. Some of the deals are time limited as well. So we'd miss out the deal because I was doing something else, or So there's that element to it as well. And it's just a lot more efficient for someone to source something, purchase it, create all the listings, fire it across the prep center, then stop and then have to start again. So. Yeah, it's a lot more efficient doing it that way.
And so can I ask, does Shani have LastPass, or does she have the credit card and details exactly? How does it work?
LastPass. She has access to that. But it was funny because I had to pay for an order the other day at a delivery come, and I didn't have any of my credit cards, so I WhatsApped her, said I need 16 digits security code. Can you send that across to me, please? And she's like, yeah, but no worries. So yeah, there's no issue there. I'm not worried about it at all.
Hey, I've had exactly.
It's actually very helpful. It's very helpful to have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use LastPass. I literally just give them the credit cards and say, there you go, do it. Maybe I'm a bit too trusting. But the amount of times I said, hey, can you just tell me the credit card details, because I don't have them. And obviously my purchasing manager's got to give me my own credit card details, which I find quite hilarious, quite dangerous. The one thing, and I think that's an element of trust as well. You build that trust within the team. The one thing which I will just come back to is, you talked about it using a credit card. Completely agree. There is, I think at the same time, I had £4,000 worth of credit card fraud on my Amex at exactly the same time. And it does protect you from, i.e. people using your card who aren't authorized. But if your VAs went and bought some dodgy stock, or like ran off and bought a fur coat, for example, using the correct PIN number and authorization code, it won't protect you from that, because that's obviously your fault, not fraudulent use. That's your Yeah, that's your fault. So if anyone's thinking about that, it's going to protect your VA if they run off. Unfortunately, credit card protection doesn't do that. So obviously you said you hired Cynthia. Why did you hire a second VA? What was the reason, may I ask?
Simply the scale. It got to the point where, well, it was. I again, I planned to do it earlier to have, because I would say that, whenever anyone starts a job, that you're not the finished article as soon as you start. So I wanted to have a couple of people sourcing for Q4. So let me get it right. Yeah, so it was September. It was my birthday whenever Cynthia was hired. So I planned to do that a month earlier, so it would give her a full month before Q4 start sourcing, and then just we took a week away and things, because you could around around August time. So I never got around to doing it. So I should have done that earlier, but yeah, it was just to simply just scale the business.
Cool, fantastic. And if you don't mind me asking, obviously now you're running Amazon, 2 VAs. You're doing your drop shipping, other VAs in that as well. What's the future hold? Tell us about that.
So I just over the next year, I want to get some more systems in place and just build the team out. We've set a decent size goal for this year. I think, well, the goal that we've set for this year, I want to do 500K this year. So we set it out 100K Q1, Q2, Q3, and then 200K Q4.
Cool.
So we're on flow for that at the moment. And well, you know what Q4 is like. It's probably easier to do the 200K in Q4 than it is any other month. Well, 100K in any other month. And kind of what I'm conscious of, because of the way my business was before I went full time, it was kind of a Q4 business. It was kind of the dovetail with, downtime in my other job. So I know how to make the most of Q4 to an extent. But the reason for building out the team is to pick up the slack in the other quarters.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I do want to build out the team and just scale it to see where we can get to.
And if you don't mind me asking, so you're talking about like this year, if you're planning Q4, what does the team look like Q4 2021? What's the structure? What does that look like?
So I think, to be honest, Cynthia and Charlie, they punch well above their weight when it comes to sourcing. They're very good. They genuinely are. I think we could probably do that with one more sourcing VA and an admin VA to just pick up, chase invoices and things. So we're going through the process of an admin VA at the moment, which is interesting. And then I want to get that person embedded first before I add more deals to the challenge, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the plan.
Fantastic. Hey, that's really, really good. Now, if I could just ask you if you had to give 3 bits of advice, or just maybe not a couple of bits of advice, for people who are, let's just ask this way: if someone's looking to, thinking about hiring a VA, what things should they consider? And obviously you've gone through that whole process, and also I'll just put a bit of background. You mentioned it before, but if anyone doesn't know, Lloyd, you've got an experience in HR. You know people management skills. You go into this with your eyes wide open, so you fully understand what you need to do to build a great team, and obviously you're building that now. What advice would you offer to someone if they're thinking about hiring a VA? What should they definitely consider or know about?
Well, what we were talking about previously was staff and issues around that. And my previous role was business development with health and safety, HR. Nearly all HR problems stem from bad recruitment. And I'm not just saying that because you've got me on here, Thomas. There's so many things you can get wrong, but also so many things you can weed out. And if you get the right person, I think a big thing about about the recruitment that you guys do is that the people that you bring in haven't sourced on Amazon before. So that kind of cuts out any issues around people worried about, well, if they source this for me, they're going to sell it to someone else, and there's going to be issues around that, or they're coming from another seller and that type of thing. You can kind of remove that issue, I think. The other thing is, if you get a really good person who actually cares, that makes a big difference as well. And yeah, Cynthia and Charmy, 100%, yeah, they care about this and they want to make it work. So yeah, and I told them in December, it's been amazing watching Charmy go from, quiet as a mouse to being a really good sourcer, hiring someone from dropshipping, and then managing Cynthia. And now she's like, purchase, do this, do that. And like, I work for Charmy now. She's the boss. So yeah, it's great to see someone like that develop as well. Yeah, and it's just been great. The other thing that you asked was what would you consider before hiring? I would a friend of mine asked me about this. Don't oversend to me about this the other day, and I probably didn't answer his question well enough. I think you really need to decide if you want Amazon to be a job, a side hustle, or if you want to build a business, because once you bring someone else in, then it becomes a business. You've got responsibility to them, but you're going to put time in with them. You're going to explain, this is how I do this, this is how I do that, this is what I want you to do, and support them with that. I do think that it's not for everyone, but if you decide that you want to grow the business and grow and build out a team, then absolutely do it. But there is a lot of responsibility taken on staff as well, because if it goes wrong, they could have been doing something else. They could have been spending their time with someone else and building a relationship with someone else. It's maybe not the best answer to that question, but that would be my thought with it.
Yeah, hey, I agree. Obviously I've got a team of 30 across 2 businesses, and I thought about it yesterday, and I was like, my God, I've got like an obligation to these people. Like, they've got families to feed, and I've got an obligation as a business owner to make sure that my business succeeds. Because if it doesn't, lots of people are affected, and there's going to be a lot of problems. Right now there are people struggling to get jobs because of COVID. It's a real challenge. So, taking a VA on isn't, I'll just take a VA on. Like, no, this affects people's lives. It's a big decision, and it's a commitment that you make. And it's not just a commitment about a VA, but it's about investing time, investing in that person to grow. And, you talked about it. Number one, getting the right person, and whether you choose us, the VA Academy, or someone else, getting that right person first and foremost is fundamentally, all the training in the world will not solve the wrong person. But if you get the right person, it makes your life so much easier. Like, I really believe in that. And then also as well, my God, like, you talked about it, is today you spent like an hour a day, you were conscious of making time for them, making them feel part of the team. And you said, my God, I've seen Charmy grow. And now, and I love this, I work for Charmy. And I was like, that's so right. My God, my team, I jump in and I'm like, right, how can I help you? Not do this, do this. It's like, what I want from you. Next question is now, how do I help you get that? And it's how can I help you?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's
been great.
And it's beautiful to watch, and it's so eye-opening. You see Charmy, and you see her. My God, she's taking on, starting up drop shipping. She's doing purchasing manager. She's hiring other staff. I sit there sometimes and like, you don't even need me. I'm gonna get out of here. You've got this under control, and you're like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. Well, once COVID does one and we can all go on holiday again, it would be great to actually have the business run when I'm not there. And it is set up that, I can leave the business and it just runs without me. Things go across the prep center. Yeah, it's all set up. So yeah, can't wait for a nice holiday somewhere.
Fantastic.
We all one, apart from you, Thomas.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right, fantastic. So look, I know obviously you guys have got some questions in. So first things first, I just want to say thank you very much to Lloyd for sharing all of that. And obviously, if you've got any questions, something thought about, maybe it's something like Lloyd's journey, even my journey at all, something we've talked about, or hey, maybe it's something you're struggling with in your business and you just want to get a sense check of like, how would you deal with it? Any problems you've got, drop them in the comments down below. Obviously, that is going to, obviously, we're going to come back and we're going to go through all those questions and answer them for you. And obviously, we'll give you our opinions on it. We're not saying we're right, it's just what we think. But before I go into that, I just want to talk you through the offer we've got right now with Fast Track FBA. Now, obviously, you do know, obviously, we run, and we've talked about it here, that quite simply, I run Fast Track FBA, and within Fast Track FBA, we have the VA Academy. Now, quite simply, within the VA Academy, we have our training service for manual sourcing VAs. Now, quite simply, this is a service that we run, that Lloyd's used twice, to hire manual sourcing VAs. And I just want to go through to share with you a very quick snippet about what we offer and what that offer looks like. And obviously, if it's something you're interested in, we've got a great offer for you today that you can take advantage of. So quite simply is, let me just go through this. So growing your business with a virtual assistant, and Lloyd talked about this, and I've talked about it time and time again, is about getting the right person. So with us, for you, if you are looking at growing your business, maybe it's getting your first VA, growing to the next VA, maybe think about purchasing manager. It always starts with getting the right person. You need to take action to build this team. It does take time. It's an investment. And to get started, you need to follow certain steps. And quite simply, you need to build a great team. Lloyd talked about it, building a team. And what I love is the fact that Shami is now hiring a team for him. My God, scaling without him. He's like part-time business owner. I love it. So quite simply, he is building a great team. Now, with that great team, how does it all start? What's the fundamentals? Well, very simply, the very first part of it is always talking about having a manual sourcing VA. Now, in my business, I hired an admin VA first, and I wouldn't recommend doing that first. Why? I learned from it. An admin VA takes costs money, doesn't bring in any revenue. But a sourcing VA brings in revenue to your business. They bring in deals that you can buy. It saves you time. It's going to make your life easier. So that can also then talk about promoting up to a purchasing manager, doing different steps. But getting a sourcing VA is going to be important. So quite simply, what you can do going forward is use the Fast Track VA Academy. Now, this is a service obviously I run, and if you are interested in it, what do? We quite simply, and we've talked about it, we spend an enormous amount of time, effort, and energy finding the right person, hiring the right kind of people that are going to fit your business, fit the qualities that we've seen that work within sourcing VAs. Once we found that right person, we train them and we support them in your business for 15 weeks. That's including the training of us and 12 weeks on site. We pretty much do it all for you. It's pretty hands-off. You set the certain conditions like the rate of pay, the holiday, the contractual certain bits, and we guide you through all of that after payment. But we will teach them all the foundations, keeper, setting up the tools, understanding what deals are, understanding the analysis. Lloyd talked about it. Getting someone who hasn't sold in Amazon and bringing them up to scratch. Why do we generally look for that? Because quite simply, they don't have the bad habits, they don't have the dangers, they are looking for a good job and they want a good employer. So quite simply, our team will support you in growing that business. And last year, we've hired over 90 VAs, of which 2 went to Lloyd. So obviously, you can see that he's obviously benefited from that. Now, quite simply, we'll do everything. We talked about it, sourcing for deals, setting up the tools, Buybot Pro, FBA Multi-Tool, SaaS, we do that. Now, if you get any problems at all, what we generally do with us, pretty much if you get any problems like they're not getting results, we will do a replacement free of charge. And quite simply, we are monitoring the results for you. So if we're not happy with the results of the VA, 9 times out of 10, we'll actually spot it before you do, because we look at the analytics, we look at what they're doing versus our history, and we know. And also as well, if the VA leaves, and sometimes it does happen, talked to Curtis last week, he had that on his first VA. We have a great refund policy if you don't want to proceed with it, but if not, we'll get a replacement, so it really doesn't matter. So we really support you if things go wrong, because hey, we're all human beings and sometimes things do go wrong. Now, quite simply, is for us, In addition to the VA Academy, that's the hiring service, we've got a new addition to help support you in scaling. So quite simply, this is the MBA workbook. Now, the MBA workbook is quite simply all the documentation, everything we have learned from different sellers, all their questions that they've asked, we've put together into an online course that you can access. Now, this is a live document that we are updating all the time, and it covers everything from onboarding, performance management, training, career development, total rewards, employee separation, and operations management. And quite simply, you are able to just dive into this, download the documents, fill out the templates. It's going to really help you out. Just kind of cross all the T's, dot the I's to building a really successful business. We've just put it there. And also as well, because it's live, if Lloyd, for example, says, hey, Tom, any chance you've got a document about this and we don't have it, we'll make it and we'll put it in the MBA workbooks. That means that everyone else can get access to the same templates and they can use that information as well. So really, really valuable resource there. Now, quite simply, in the MBA workbook, we've got 60 topics, lots of downloadable templates, best practice guides, lots of videos that I've recorded that are going to help you out. And as I said before, it's a live resource that's going to help you there. Now, the question you might be asking is, Lloyd's obviously done it before, and we have got 90 obviously VAs last year that we've hired. So how much does it cost for the Fast Track FBA VA Academy? Quite simply, $497. That's it, only $497, not a particularly high price. And this is the price that we charged last year. Really, really good value for money. But today we've got some great bonuses. And I will say this, these bonuses have been live all month and they are selling out fast. If I'm right in thinking, I think there are maybe less than 10 customers available. And I don't want to do the whole kind of scarcity factor, but we do have a waiting list already. So quite simply, what are the bonuses? If you are interested in hiring a VA today, what are they? Well, quite simply, $497 for the VA Academy. That is you getting a trained sourcing VA in your business with that full 15 weeks of support from training right through to in your business. And we've got a whole team that will support you. In addition to that, you get access to a training course for the VA, which if you want to buy on its own is £247. In addition to that, you get the MBA workbook, which is, if you're going to buy that on its own, it's £497. In addition to that, we're throwing in 3 months of leads for Fast Track FBA. So if you want to get some leads, maybe your VA is not coming up. Obviously, it takes time. You know, Lloyd talked about this as an investment. It takes time to come through. We appreciate that it takes time to get deals. So we're giving you deals to help speed up your deal sourcing through Fast Track FBA leads, 3 months worth. And then finally, as well, to support you, we're also going to give you 12 weeks of private Facebook group, me doing live one-to-one support, coaching with you on, not one-to-one, sorry, one-to a group with you, helping you every week in your business. Now, what I will say is if you were to buy one-to-one group or one-to-one coaching calls with me, I charge £220 per hour. I'm not saying I'm worth that much, but that's how much I value my time. And I've done this time and time again with many people to scale up their businesses and to outsource and to get them purchasing managers and to work them down to 4 hours a week. Now, I'm going to share all my knowledge, and we've already started these with lots of sellers. Every week, I answer your questions, answer the troubles that people are having, and support you in just getting it right. Having that insight is about whether your VA goes up slowly or they really scale up quick by just tweaking the little things. Lloyd is a testament to this, not so much my coaching, but the fact that he understands about people management, getting the right people management, managing your teams correctly is the difference between slow growth or really, really fast growth. And you see it with Lloyd, he has great people management skills, and now he's got a VA who's hiring other VAs for him. That's incredible, absolutely amazing. So really, really good there. Now, for you, quite simply, the one thing you need to be aware of, if you can add it up, £4,058. Again, total price is only $497. We're doing this just for the first 50 customers. And just be aware it's on a first come, first served basis for delivery of VAs. Now, normally, it's 3 weeks from the payment to the VA starting, and it takes us 3 weeks, and we can only do 10 VAs at a time. We're a big believer in making sure the quality of the VAs is paramount. We can't focus, we can't let that fall. So we train a maximum of 10 VAs every single week, and we're limiting it to the first 50 customers. And it might mean right now you're going to have to wait a week at least before we can start that 3-week process, because we've got so many people who have already paid for it that we're going through finding the right candidates first and then putting them through training. But It might be that you might have to wait 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks if you are interested. So just be mindful, for 50 customers, it takes 3 weeks, and we only train 10 at a time because we want to get the quality right first. Now, for you guys, now the question I kind of think about for you is, and hey, I asked Lloyd this question, for a year from now, where do you want to be? And Lloyd's answer, I want to grow my team. I want to build the team out. Why? Because the same as me in Thailand, probably the same as Lloyd, we really understand that sometimes we're the biggest problem in our business. We're the reason we're slowing down, and building that team makes such a difference. So for me, whether it be growing my team from the first couple of VAs now up to 30, or maybe you getting your first VA, that could be the thing about your business growing slowly or really ramping up. Q4 2021, the best Q4 you've ever had, maybe hitting that 500,000 mark. See how it goes. Now, quite simply for you guys, just be really mindful of the fact that it is the first 50 customers. And if you want to take advantage of this offer, do have a look at fasttrackfba.com/VA. That is it. Go there. It'll talk it all through. And if you've got any questions, maybe you're a bit on the fence, you can go to that website as well. And if you scroll 3/4 of the way down, you can book a call with Anne, who manages the VA Academy, and she'll answer any questions on a live one-to-one call with you just about the whole process. Maybe if you're not right, maybe if you're thinking not yet, or what's the situation, or here's my unique circumstance. Ask that question and she'll answer it, talk it all through to you. She knows the whole process, she manages it, and we're here really to support you. So she'll be your point of contact pretty much throughout the whole training process as well. But have a look, www.fasttrackfba.com/VA. There you go. My God, Lloyd, I think I ran through that really super fast. So obviously have a look at that if you're interested. But now, what I just want to say is we'll kind of go to the questions. And the one thing which I do just notice, I'd see it down the bottom, is we can train UK, USA, and Canada as well. We've done all 3 of them in the past, and we can do that for all those different marketplaces. Fundamentally, the sourcing techniques are exactly the same, but the only difference is where you source from. And I've got teams who can do the training in the UK and USA because we already source deals for them. So we've already got the lists of suppliers. So if you're looking for any of the markets outside the UK, you can definitely have that as well. Just check out fasttrackfba.com/VA or give Anne a call and book in with her. Lloyd, did you get all that? I think I went very fast.
Yeah, I got all that. So when you were going through that, I just remember whenever Cynthia started, my kind of, what would the right word be, agenda was just that it would be someone that Charmy would get along with, and it was a masterstroke because obviously Charmy's based in Japan and Cynthia's husband is based in Japan, so they had that in common straight away, and it was just it just felt like they got on from day one. So it was great to hire from the same process. So yeah.
No, fantastic. And I know, interesting enough, if sometimes where people have had a very unique requirement, they've actually given Anne a call beforehand, talked about it, and the way we do our recruitment is we're looking for those things to say, if we can find someone who's going to match that, we'll try and find it. If I give you a quick bit of heads up, I was looking through our recruitment software. We're doing some work on it at the moment just to make it a bit more efficient and to get the right candidates. I was literally looking at, we're probably getting applications every 5 minutes from different candidates, and we're having to filter them, interview them. And when I first started doing the interview, and this is Charmy's day, it was like I would do one interview with them. Now it's pretty much a 2-stage interview process, along with a personality profiler test, along with practical testing. There's so much that goes into that initial assessment, and it's just like, wow.
Well, that's the other thing, the psychological test as well. You've got basically do like a character test, so you've got all that as well. So the Tony Robbins, which was very helpful. Very helpful. Because the thing to kind of remember, and what it was when Cynthia started, she was explaining that her old job was a 4-hour commute into Manila and back. So you sat in the bus for 8 hours. I mean, the world's kind of changed, even in the Philippines, that people realize you can have a good job but work from home. So it's really helped her, family life. And it kind of, it does put things in perspective when you're giving someone back 8 hours a day as well. So crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it.
And the fact that people do that, they actually get on a bus for 4 hours a day each way. You're like, it's insane. But and hey, there are great people in the Philippines who are doing these insane commutes, and they're just they're looking for a great relation, great job to work from home. And when you match them, it's a beautiful match. But I'd say, on the flip side is that so many people are looking for it that, when we put jobs out, sometimes within the first 2 days, we'll get 300 applicants. It's like, you've got to filter through that. And there's a lot of bad candidates as well. But get the right one, it works really, really well. And I think Cynthia is a testament to that. Fantastic. Yeah. Should we go through some questions?
Can do, yeah.
Let's kind of go through. So what have we got here? So if I just kind of jump back to dual screen. So quite simply, Jack Gray has come on. So you can't drop ship with Amazon then, as in selling the item on Amazon and ship directly from supplier. I think I know the answer to this one, but Lloyd, you got any thoughts on it first?
My kind of thought on it, Jack, is that it's not worth the risk. You can't. I think it's just not worth the risk for us. It's something that we might look at in the States. We might drop ship on Amazon. Yes. I have a call on Friday afternoon to discuss this with someone that hopefully I can bring in, not as a VA, I hate that word, not as a remote worker, but someone to work with me a little bit more. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I wouldn't go near drop shipping onto Amazon because you're kind of asking for trouble.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I mean, there's people, we were talking about this, who do big numbers drop shipping onto Amazon. I don't have the skill set or the knowledge yet, so I can't really answer it. But for the time being, I'm happy to do FBA and drop ship away from Amazon.
I completely agree. I think there is a policy document that they say drop shipping isn't allowed. But as much, it's like a terms and conditions, or there's a drop shipping policy, should we say. So do check that out. The typical drop shipping we talk about is like buying from Asda and drop shipping, or Dunelm, which we say, and drop shipping on Amazon. That I really don't think at all. And again, for your reason you said, just the risk, the account metrics, you can get it shut down. And it's not like you can just go open another Amazon account and carry on. Once one goes, that's it.
I mean, Amazon's FBA is much easier to scale than drop shipping on Amazon, so you're kind of missing the point. No offense, I know Jackie's from on the corner, but you're kind of missing the point with that. But yeah, get started, Jack. That's what I would say. Still haven't started, so.
So, hey, not a problem. It's all good. It's really good. But that's fine. Right, should we go on? Here we go. So, someone, obviously Facebook user, not sure who it is. My cards are being blocked by the bank. If the purchase is made from overseas, do you use a VPN or a credit card? Or credit cards that do not have this level of security? Lloyd, how are you getting around this?
Yeah, VPN. And Amex is very handy for overseas purchases, because you just need to verify the card once and then that's it, done. But yeah, they've all got VPNs.
Fine. So for me, yes, VPNs, we use ExpressVPN. I also use Amex, Santander, MasterCard, and Capital on Tap. And we set up basically the text messages to come through to, I think it's Andrew and Arnold. I don't know if I ever told you about that, where basically it's a virtual mobile phone number and then they text the virtual when it comes to an email. So that gets to me and then distributed out by default rule, which works really well. I think Lloyd's making a note there. It costs £1 a month.
Sure.
Not a problem, but yeah, it works really well. So they doing that. It's not the easiest thing, but it does do. And the other reason why I like Andrew and Arnold, just if you want to know for a traveling perspective, is the fact that not only can you send and receive phone calls through it as well, the same number, i.e. through a VPN client, but Andrew and Arnold also have a web application which allows you to send text messages back out through the number. And why is that good? Because the sheer number of times Santander says you've hit your limit, please require less, or it's like, we think this is a fraudulent transaction. It's not. We've just bought the same thing 5 times at the same price. Either you've got to call the bank up, which is like 20 minutes of your life wasted, or you can text back yes on the text. So that's so much quicker than having to wait 20 minutes in the bank.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's my top tip. Andrew Darnold works well. There's a little web thing. We'll do it. If you ever want me to make a video about it, I'll do that one day. But it's a top tip there. And VPN, agree. Also, as well, if you want to know, my VAs one time used one of my credit cards, authorized by the way, by me, to buy headsets in the Philippines to ship to the Philippines. Didn't even ask for the security number. I was like, so that was interesting because they bought and it was 5 headsets to ship to 5 different addresses because they're all my team. They needed new headsets. So I was a bit surprised. So it depends on the card. Let's put it that way.
Cynthia needs a new headset right now. Well, there you go. Right, we'll get that sorted.
Fantastic. I was like, I'm not putting in the shipping details for 5 headsets at all. You can do that. I just try it. And they did it and it worked. So I was like, I just don't have time. So we've got someone here says that's a violation. If they get caught, they will ban you and they will not give you your remaining balance. So I'm not too sure what you mean. It could be Amazon or it could be, I think it's probably in relation to the credit cards. You can set up secondary users on credit cards, as in have secondary users for your cards. And I think also as well, if there's a problem with the credit terms, because they're not giving, obviously I will still be liable for that credit if they decide to cancel my card. So obviously if they go, no, you avoided the credit terms, the terms and conditions of my credit card. Obviously, if I owe £5,000, obviously I still have to pay the £5,000 back, or they'll come after me from court. But they just won't allow me to spend any more on the card and shut the account down. Lloyd,
I would just deal with that if it comes up. That would come up.
And hey, do you know what's really interesting? I was talking to someone about this. Is about how the very nature of who we are. I call it entrepreneurs, small business owners. I don't really like to call myself an entrepreneur. I think of that's kind of like the Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like a business owner. But the interesting thing is we need to be a little bit rule breaking sometimes. The very nature of what we do is we have to try and find a niche which works. Our little avenue that's successful, and we have to do that by, I'm not saying breaking the rules, but by
think outside the box.
Exactly. Yeah. So trying to make things work. And if we follow the rules exactly all the time, and by the way, I'm not saying ever break your credit card terms, break Amazon terms and conditions, anything like that. I'm trying not to condone that at all. But I'm saying we need to be creative in how we approach our problems. And using credit cards with teams in the Philippines isn't exactly a good example of that.
Yeah.
Lloyd's yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, I can't see any credit card company really worrying that much about spending more in their card. If they do, you just pay it off and then move on to the next one.
And the one thing I will say also as well is, my God, credit card companies are not stupid. They know the card's being used in the Philippines.
Absolutely. They
completely know that. My God, I use my credit cards everywhere in the world and without VPN, and I don't get questions asked. What we got? So, quick question here: how long does it take you to get good at sourcing? Lloyd? How long did it take her? Sorry, Shami.
Well, I mean, she had a certain skill set when she came out of training, and Charmy. Yeah, I mean, she was more or less up and running within about a month. Cynthia took a lot. Cynthia got off a lot. Sorry, I've had nearly as much coffee as Thomas. Cynthia got off a lot quicker, but obviously it was going into Q4. There was a lot more deals. We had a much better setup. There was a little bit of wholesale as well that Cynthia would go through, and she had, Charmy, who speaks Filipino, to support her. So it's a good question but what I would say, yeah, just the last year has been so much of a blur. But yeah, I mean, Charmy was up and running very quickly. I was very impressed. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to put this in I think a lot of people take a really short-term approach to things, especially things like VAs, that people expect them to be up and running very quickly, expect a lot of them. It is a process, and it's a little bit like starting a job, that you're not up to speed after day one, and you do get better each month. Both Charmy and Cynthia have got better each month. And to kind of put things into perspective, I mean, Charmy found a deal It was one product that we sold a lot of last year. And I think after all costs, it was 5K profit on that one product.
And obviously she cost you, obviously we were the same rate back then, 497 for us to go through the whole process just to find a.
So on that one product, it's 10x. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And hey, and I agree. And Lloyd, obviously you're from a HR background, and I've done a lot of management of people in different companies, and we always worked on the ethos of 90 days. The first 90, you don't add value to a business until you're at least 90 days into that business. And that's like where you've recouped the value that you've cost, the impact, and now you're adding more value back.
The other thing as well is when Sharmi finds a deal, say she finds a deal on Monday, we purchase it on Monday. It takes maybe a week to get delivered, then takes another week to go into a prep center. It then might take a month to sell.
Yeah.
Then you've got a 2-week delay after it sells. So you're looking at 6 weeks. Yeah, you're looking at six to 8 weeks minimum before you get your money back anyway. So if you have to outlay money on deals, pay for the first 2 months, you're not gonna break. The way I looked at it, and I think I said this, I didn't expect to break even until month 3 on the deals that I was, because you've got a lot more time involved, you've got a lot more money involved, and yeah, I looked at it breaking even after 3 months, which I thought was a very good investment. I can't remember. I think it was around sort of 2 or 3 months before we started to, because you don't get the money back from the deals like that. It's not like eBay. If you get a sale, you get paid straight away. It's Amazon. It takes 2 weeks minimum to get your money back anyway. So you have to factor in your cash flow as well. There's that to consider. So yeah, if you are thinking about a VA, it's not just right. Well, it's going to be 500 quid, and then whatever I'm paying the VA. It's you need money for the deals that they're going to find, because if you don't have that money as well, I haven't seen any of your promotional stuff. What do you recommend, Thomas, for like a budget when it comes to a VA, roughly?
So it's quite dependent on model. Now, as a rough rule of thumb, I would generally say you probably need about £4,000 in available cash to invest in the VA. And I might be on the careful side there. I might be on the optimistic side there. It depends on your model. So, if you are, I go for very high value, ROI items. I have a certain way that works. That kind of helps out. And the reason why I kind of say that is I think the question comes is you want to be spending about at least £500 on the deals that you're buying per week from the VA, I think it is. And then you're looking at about 2 months to turn it around. That's about £4,000. And then it depends on your ROI. If your ROI is really high, maybe you don't need so much. If your ROI is really low and you're doing like high volume, low ROI items, you want a lot more cash. But the big part about it is people just don't. There's a capital requirement for that. And hey, last thing you want to do is invest it all in the VA, do the deals, and the only profit you make is to pay the VA. You don't make any profit for the business.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Lloyd? How does £4,000 sound to you?
I would say that's about right. Yeah, and I think you need to be good at sourcing yourself, and you need to understand the business yourself as well, because they're your responsibility. And I'm kind of all about sort of personal responsibility, and if they make a mistake, it's not their fault. It might be their fault, but it's your responsibility. So that's the way I look at it. I spent some time trying to prep for this yesterday, and I was just trying to think, really, there hasn't really been like there hasn't been any like big massive mistakes or anything like that. There's maybe been like a couple of days where they've really struggled to find something at the start, but then you go, it's 2 days, it doesn't really matter,
Sharmi started in the first lockdown when literally there was like nothing to buy.
That's right.
I remember that. I was like, I really feel for these VAs, because right now it's like the worst time ever to buy in the history of finding deals. Now is our time. And she survived.
Right.
She did a really good job.
It sounds like she messaged you.
No, I wasn't. I don't know if it's you, but we had a couple of clients who were like, they're not finding as many deals, and it's like, quick question, how many are you finding yourself? And like, I'm not finding many either. And it's like, so if you're not, how are they finding many? Like, no. Now I understand. So yeah, I really agree. Right, should we move on? Because I appreciate that. Jax just mentioned you need to license your office software there, Tom. I'm not sure what the office software you're applying to. Let me know down below. That's great. Obviously, we've got a great offer there. So honestly, thank you so much. And also, if anyone's just kind of joined quickly, the offer we've got is $497 for the VA Academy and all the extras. And if you want to check it out, fasttrackfba.com/VA. So I'm not going to kind of do that, but just obviously have a look at that. fasttrackfba.com/VA. Really, really good offer, limited to 50 people. So have a look at that. And if you want to know, that is, yes, the USA, UK, and we've done Canada as well. We've previously hired them, so we've got the lists. So question here, great one. Hi guys, what was the tipping point in your business where you thought you needed a VA? Lloyd?
Wow. It's different for everyone. I've recommended this book to several people, so I'll probably sound like a stuck record. I read E-Myth recently, Why Small Businesses Fail, What to Do About Them, and to do about it. And it was very interesting the way it talked about your business is either growing or it's contracting. It's never maintaining. So you will get to points where you're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So yeah, I felt I needed one after 2019 Q4, where I was starting in January, like the busiest month of my old job, the busiest month in the year, my old job. And you're not meant to do it on your own, I don't think. Well, it depends what you want. If you just want a bit of extra cash, you know how to source, and you're happy just to have like that cap on it, then you can do it on your own. If you want to build a business or a company by definition is a collection of people. You can't do it on your own. And there's all the cliches in the world. If you stop working on your business and your business stops, it's not really a business, it's a job. So yeah, I can't really answer that for everyone, but that was the answer for me. So and plus, I mean, I was using fast track deals and I thought, well, yeah, I mean, if I can have someone find deals like this for me all day long, then sure, it kind of makes sense.
Agreed. And it's that progression up. I think the interesting one, and you talked about it, and I just kind of combine two things. Number one is the fact that when you think you need a VA, it's probably a bit too late. And the reason why I say is obviously check that you can afford it and you have the money. But the reason is because it does take time. You know, like it's a month with us, for example, it's 3 weeks. But then also as well, you said it, it's about a month for them to get up to speed. And that's 2 months down the line. So if you think you need a VA today, they don't start adding value, and we'll call it 3 months. It's for 3 more months. So
yeah, that's very true.
Just kind of have a bit of foresight to say, you know, like people are like, oh my God, I want to make Q4 the best time ever. Okay, it's November, let's do it. I'm like, your VA isn't going to start adding value until January. So yeah, this is a June or July job.
Yeah, it's like cliche. The best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago. Yeah. Second best time is today. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, really interesting. And I think as long as you can afford it and it's about growing your business, and hey, my God, you know, in Fast Track FBA, we went through a stage last year where I was like, obviously we had the VA Academy, they did the hiring for us, but that was a really big change, me coming out of hiring, them doing it. And we got to a point whereby I was literally giving them every week, can we hire this person? Can we hire this person? Can we hire this person? And I was just like, I don't even know how many staff I've got now. It's incredible. I just couldn't keep hold of it. And I was like, right, we need to stop hiring because I just can't keep up with what's happening. And we need to solidify. But it's really strange. And that's about planning forward. So it just depends what your business is at. And also understanding it takes time to get them up to speed. It's not like software. You buy it and turn it on and add value from day one. This is an investment. And Lloyd, you said it at the very beginning here. The whole economy, you know, the biggest risk to our economy is people, the staff. They can leave.
100%.
They're the biggest asset as well. You get your staff right.
Yeah,
such a big difference.
You could probably do a bit of a case study on the recruitment costs for someone in sales or business development in the UK. I think you're more involved. You were more involved in recruitment than me. Is it 20% of base salary?
So
Something like that.
I remember I was an IT recruiter for 2 years, and we had. Are you talking about rates that we charge?
Yeah.
So our standard terms are 30% of salary. And, you're talking to IT recruit, IT is about 60k. So we talk about. I can't do 30% 60k. That's bad.
18 grand.
£18,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you use that, yeah, £500 for someone who, yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Definitely. So thank you. So let's move on. Quick question: have any of you guys ever used 61688.com? I've not personally. Lloyd?
No.
Cool. That answers that question. Let's move on. What's your lowest and max salary for a VA? Do you want me to answer this one, Lloyd?
Can do, yeah.
So quite simply, if you are to hire a VA through the VA Academy, once you pay, you go through like an onboarding form, and we have you set like it's basically the contractual conditions, but we give you options, and we generate the contract off those options. So quite simply, we set like the VA salary, what you can do. Obviously, you can pay as much as you want. If you want to pay them £1 million, you can, but I would strongly recommend against it because I don't think you'd see a very good ROI on £1 million VA per year or per month. But we recommend $3 per hour, which is about $504 per month on a 40-hour work week, which is about £380. And that's about 25,000 pesos, which in the Philippines is a good wage. You know, you got to think that they're not paying to travel. It's actually a good wage to earn anyway, and you don't have the cost of traveling, and it's the benefits of working from home. But you do have a bit of flexibility in that and what you can choose. But the one thing which I say is, and I'll say this from experience, you can go lower, and I mean much lower, but we've seen it when we used to go lower, the quality deteriorates dramatically. So it's not to say that you can't get good VAs at a lower rate, not at all, but your chances of finding them are a lot harder. And also as well, they can find other jobs which work as well once they have that skill set. And remember, this isn't about getting a VA today. This is about investing in your business in the greatest asset, which is the people, and making that investment in the long term. Because every hour or day they work for you is more value they're going to bring over the long term they work for you. So it's about retention. Lloyd, any thoughts?
No, I'd agree with that. You've got also your 13th month. So we pay 13th month end of last year, and we also paid a bonus as well. So yeah.
Cool. So if you want to know 13th month pay, we talk about in the contract, and that is for every full year they earn 1 extra month's salary, and if they haven't worked a full year, they'll earn like 1/12 of the year's salary. So if they've worked half the year, and the monthly salary is 25,000 pesos, and they've worked 6 months, then they'd earn 6/12 of, so it's half effectively of 25,000 pesos as a bonus extra. And also, if you want to do sourcing bonuses on top, we talk about them in the MBA workbook, where we talk about like how I do sourcing bonus structures and how we align them to ensure that you're getting profitability within your business, and what we do, and we talk about that as well. So we can share that, and lots of people ask questions that in the private Facebook group as well. Question here, I'll kind of fire through these to appreciate time, and hey, Lloyd's got a life to live as well. So, and obviously you guys.
Thomas, I'm high as a kite on coffee right now.
You're not going to bed anytime soon. So David's obviously asked here, do you guys train in certain software like Bybot Pro, etc.? Yeah, we basically, we've got the access. We set them up on your keys, so they're logged into your thing, and we will actually train them on Bybot Pro, FBA Multi-Tool, and SAS. We won't train them on all three, but we'll train and we'll use every day in training the tools that you currently use. So my team are trained on it. They have them. We use them day in, day out here in my business, so they know how to use them, and they can train that to your VA, so that when you start, they're already familiar, aware, and used to using it, and already set up not only with your tools, but also with your Amazon account to make sure they're getting hazmat and restricted for your business, not like mine, for example. Sounds fine. So we've got here, we're paying $2.5 for my Filipino VA. Is that standard? We said $3, so pretty much around that, just a little bit lower than what we do, but that's fine. No real issues there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your business, so you can you can run it the way that you see fit. So as long as you're bringing them, as long as it's clear at the start, then you know, as long as they join, they're happy on those terms, then there's no issue there.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Fantastic. So we've got a great question here. What does a typical fast track FBA trained VA produce on an average, or what is expected outcome, i.e. 10 deals a day, minimum 3 good, or done via time spent with X number of deals per week? This is a really subjective answer.
Yeah.
Lloyd, do you want to give your thoughts on it?
No, because I knew someone would ask this, and I don't really monitor it, because we would do OA and wholesale. So when they're going through like wholesale lists, they'll find a lot more that they can purchase. So I don't really monitor it, and the only way I really kind of, I don't monitor it. The only kind of thing that I ask them to do is they share Google Calendar with me. So if they're sourcing Argos, they'll put a block in their calendar that's shared with me, so I can see them going through Argos for 3 or 4 hours. I kind of come from a place where it was this but not this. So it was generating leads, business development, that type of stuff, and I was very highly monitored and KPIs and all that sort of stuff. And it's good to a point, but I kind of wanted to run the business in a different way. I kind of wanted people, just as long as they're producing results, I don't really care if you spend an hour or 8 hours doing it. I'd much rather you spend less time doing it and producing results, because it's better for you, and it means that you're good at what you do. Not to say that tomorrow you guys can work an hour each, but I would say that if it's strictly, what was the question? I'm talking absolute nonsense here. The 10 deals and 3 good are done by time spent. It is subjective, because it's down to each business and what you're looking for and that type of thing. Because we would do a bit of wholesale as well. It kind of gets muddied a little bit. So Charmy's targeted on spend per week rather than deals. So as long as she's spending that money and on replenishables and topping those up with deals, it's kind of a different thing.
Cool. Yeah, and if I can give you my thoughts on it, so I'll talk about what we do, and then I'll talk about why we do what we do. So first of all, in the VA Academy, for the first 12 weeks while they're with you, we monitor deals. I don't like monitoring deals, but we monitor deals for this quite simple fact. It's a very easy metric to measure. But we really recommend that you move away from deals and you move to physical spend afterwards. And the reason why I say that is, generally speaking, we operate at a roughly, let's say, a certain ROI. Let's call it 30%. So how do you make more money? You just buy more products. If you can spend more money at 30% ROI, you're going to make more profit. So let's say, for example, if you're spending £1,000 or $1,000 this week on deals, you're going to get $300 or £300 profit. But if you spend £2,000, you're going to make more profit, because it's roughly the same ROI. So when you use the deal analogy, you're looking at 10 deals. Now, you might make £2,000, but my VA might come back the next week and only find 3 deals. But each deal I can spend £2,000 on. Now, all of a sudden, I can spend £6,000 on those deals. And if it's roughly the same ROI, I'm going to make more money. But when we solely measure the deals metric, not spend metric, the 3 deals is worse than 10. But what we know is that we're going to make more money from the 3 deals than the 10 deals. And if I give a really good example, if anyone's from the UK, 10 deals in Superdrug is way better than 10 deals from Boots. Boots are likely to have a maximum order of 3, and they're probably going to cancel your order as it is. So one deal isn't equal to another deal, which basically means measuring performance based on deals over the long term can be detrimental to your overall business objectives, because deals don't necessarily relate to profitability. And if I give Lloyd's classic example, Charmy found one deal, he said generated £5,000 worth of profit. Now, if she found one of them every week, he's loving it. And that's just one deal a week. So be very careful about what you measure, because even if you tell them, don't worry about it, but I'm still going to measure it, they'll still start to compare and think about improving that measurement. So within the VA Academy, we do set them up with deals initially, but we really encourage you, and we do it through the MBA workbook, to say move away from deals, go to spend, because it's a better metric to measure. Not perfect, but it is better. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If you want to know the ultimate one, we actually do is incentives. We do actual profit generated by the deals the VA's purchased. And that takes about 2 months to come through. And you can use things like the USS to do that as well, but I won't go into that today. So fantastic. We've got one here from Jack. I was just asking for a friend, Lloyd. You know me, and I know procrastinating big time. So booking time to speak to these
my favorite procrastinator. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, hey, we all do that at times. That's just life. We all procrastinate.
Well, in fairness to Jack, he runs a pretty successful IT business already. So, yeah.
Good reason to procrastinate.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got his hands full. So.
Fantastic. Obviously, I think this is a comment previously about violation about dropshipping. So thank you for clearing that up. That's great. We've also got here, what's the tipping point in your VA that you needed a VA? I think that question's already been asked. If I just kind of come down, just going to have a quick look here. So we've got someone here said, Lloyd seems like a great guy. Completely agree, Lloyd, great guy. Thank you again just for joining us and from prior conversations. Really looking forward to catching up on this one. Took advantage of the offer a few days ago and looking forward to working with my second VA from Fast Track FBA. Fantastic, really good. So someone obviously coming back for the second VA as well. Here's a question for you, Lloyd. On a day-to-day basis, how much input do you have in terms of assigning tasks, or your VA is completely self-sufficient?
It's a good question. Today, very little. I think I've sent them 2 or 3 messages. That's it. Yeah, as much as I kind of want now. It's we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot this month. Kind of looking forward to where we want the business to be. We've kind of put together a bit of a plan. So for the month, we'll start sourcing for Q4 type items and businesses and wholesalers and distributors 3 months before. So we're starting to put things together like that. On a day-to-day basis, really not that much, maybe an hour, 2 hours max, that I spend assigning tasks. They are very, very self-sufficient. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And my business is a little bit different to Lloyd's. I've got 1 purchasing manager, 4 sourcing VAs, and 1 admin VA, all full time. And if I had to be really, really honest, I spend an hour a week with my admin VA, and she literally tells me, Tom, go to Santander, give me a screenshot of this. Tom, move this money from here to here. And I'm just like, cool, because I don't like to have to think. So she tells me exactly what I have to do. I'm a real big believer in like decision fatigue. So she'll tell me exactly what I need to do. She'll do my balance sheet and then tell me what I need to move money, which is great, and give us all the reports. So that's 1 hour admin. And then the other hour is with my purchasing manager, which is me telling him what to do. And then we've been doing this for a while, actually, so sorry, 3 hours. And then the third hour I do with my purchasing manager is how can I help him? And that's predominantly coaching. And in that, it's like, what are your struggles right now? And if I give an example, like, it might be like, hey, I just feel like my team meetings aren't as good as they could be. I want them to be a bit more enthused. Everyone seems a bit down. They're a bit, and we're like, okay, cool. Well, how do we make a great team meeting? What do we do? Can we do some research? And I'll do some coaching around that. And the aim of that is more about supporting him in growing the business. And the long-term goal is that I want to empower him to be able to make those decisions on a long-term basis rather than me having to tell him what to do. But he has the tools and the frameworks in his arsenal to build better systems. And as a result, I can step back. So what we're doing now, we've identified he's worked too many hours. He does 12-hour days sometimes, or quite regularly, it looks like. So we're hiring and we're promoting another purchasing assistant so he can step back and now have a less support. And we'll have 2 people doing purchasing so we can have a holiday as well, which would be nice. And I don't have to do as much, so I'm happy with that. But that's what I do, pretty much 3 hours. I might jump on and do an extra hour if I need to, or maybe ramp up to 8 if I have a real problem. But it's like 3 months. I've probably done 1 week more than 4 hours, I think it is. But again, it's just different operations, different sales. And also you've got to appreciate that my team have access to the rest of my fast track FBA business if they need like admin and recruitment and stuff. So we say, hire someone, make it happen. So not so, but other people who've got similar size operations are probably about similar, about 4 hours a week. I think that they generally do. They're pretty, once it goes, it runs. Question here. Are there already trained Amazon VAs I don't have to train myself? Quick question, Lloyd, for you. You can right now go on onlinejobs.ph, that's where we get most of our staff from, if you're interested. You can find people who are trained on Amazon already. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thought on that would be that you're kind of exposing yourself to bad habits, and perhaps people that would source or do things that you wouldn't want them to do. So it'll be, yeah, they'll know how to source on Amazon, but not perhaps the way that you would like them to. So yeah, I mean, you might find a really, really good Amazon sourcer who is amazing at finding deals and all the rest of it and so on and so forth. However, you would need to ask yourself, why are they looking for a job? If they're that good, why aren't they working for someone else?
Yeah. And I completely agree with you. If you think about the very concept of a sourcer is, what do? They go and find products that you spend money on that you make more money back by selling that covers their cost and makes profit for the business. So effectively, they make their own money and then more money. So if they were, they are like, you talk about like the golden goose. They're effectively, laying you golden eggs. So no one in their right mind would get rid of a good sourcing VA. Like, you've all seen them like, hey, Tom, can I have your good sourcing VA? No, not in a million years. Like, you can't even rent them for an hour. I will not let you even know who they are, because I don't think that you can steal them. But the idea is the fact that they work for me and they're an asset to my business, and I wouldn't let that go. I do appreciate sometimes they do happen, but even from a recruitment perspective, the amount of people I've interviewed and they're like, oh, I am really good, but I just, like something happened. And I'm like, okay, cool. If you're really good, go find me 5 deals tomorrow. It shouldn't take you more than like an hour or 2. Prove to me you know what you're doing. And the deals come back and you're just like, don't sell, they're hazardous products, or they're just, it's like, no, you wouldn't sell this. They've got one seller for the whole history of the product. It's going to get me an IP complaint straight away. And you're like, and also as well, you talked about it as well, about people selling deals. The risk of it is the reason why we generally recruit for people who've never done Amazon before, don't have bad habits, but also as well, we want people who want this as they're not so much about the Amazon ecosystem selling deals. They're about, I want a job, and we tend to find that those people they're more committed to staying with the one client on the long term rather than moving around because someone's paying a little bit more. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Short answer, yes, there are. You can find them, and I will never deny there are good Amazon VAs out there. You will pay for a price, but I do, just from experience, don't think they're maybe as good as they are. Test them. If you do want to look at them, test them, and just also be mindful of the fact that if you're going to do something like pay per deal, just be mindful of the fact that if you're buying that deal from them and you're paying the money, you're not the only client. They're probably going to have other ones, and they could be selling those deals to other people, which is why we prefer to keep them in-house in a team and recruit them on a permanent basis, because that's less likely to happen. You can never guarantee it, but it's less likely to happen. So yeah, good thing. Final question here. So just final question, if anyone's got any more questions, put them down below. Is there or are there much wholesale training given in the packages or all OA? So I'll kind of answer this one quite simply. The training we do is predominantly OA focused, but it is about using the tools, deal analysis, reading keeper charts, creating day plans, creating good work habits that are going to allow a VA to go out there and find OA deals. Now, I would just add, we've had a lot of clients who do wholesale, and they do other stuff as well, but it's a very easy transition from doing deal analysis from OA to deal analysis to wholesale. It's just the big parts of it are how do you really keep a chart? How do you use the tools? How do you understand that? That's what we learn. We teach the fundamentals. And then for you, it's about really defining exactly what a good deal looks like. My £3 profit, 30% ROI, 5 sales per month is different to your £3 profit, 30% ROI and 5 sales per month. And if Lloyd's a testament, his VA has been doing wholesale as well. If you talked about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, she's her own email address, so she'll email suppliers, try and open accounts. If she can't do it by email, I'll give them a ring and see if I can get anywhere. So, you know, that type of thing. I mean, sourcing wholesale and sourcing OA, it's the same skills. You know, if you have access to distributors, wholesalers, suppliers, whatever you want to call them, yeah, great. I mean, they can do that as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, really agree. Yeah. And I think that's something to really think, and it's very similar. So if you can open up the accounts and give them the lists, they'll go through it. They'll find those deals. So pretty much that is everything. What I will say is, obviously, if you are thinking about getting a VA, do obviously look at fasttrackfba.com/VA. We've got a fantastic offer right now, and again, it's limited to only 50 people. And obviously, if you've got questions, maybe you're a bit on the fence, you're not sure, have a look on that webpage. What's going to happen is there's a book a consultation call. You can have a call with Anne. She'll answer any questions you've got. It's free of charge, doesn't cost anything, and no obligation to buy afterwards at all. So just literally have that conversation, find out if the VA is right for you. But what I will say is, first things first, I just want to say a really big thank you to Lloyd. So Lloyd, honestly, really big thank you to you for spending your evening wiring yourself up on coffee and joining us today and sharing everything, like, my God, like all your trials, tribulations, successes, and also, things which have happened in your journey. It's been really nice. So thank you so much for sharing that.
No, you're very welcome. And I mean, I have no issue. I don't have a dog in the race at all. If anyone wants to ask me my thoughts or anything, I have no issue. If you want to ping me a message on Messenger, I'll get back to you when I can. Yeah, there's no issue there at all. I mean, they've made the biggest difference to me. So I do try and keep under the radar a little bit, but I was happy to come on and do this because genuinely it's made a big difference. So yeah, no, you're very welcome, Tom.
Fantastic, honestly, thank you. And also, I would just like to say a really big thank you to everyone watching, whether it be now or in the replay, for taking the time out of your day. Appreciate, obviously, you're busy guys or busy girls. You've got businesses to run, so much going on that, just to listen to this. Hopefully we shared some value, hopefully talked about that journey, maybe what's happened. And also a lot of it is about us as in people, like what do we do? Where do we go wrong? And not say what's wrong, but where would we do things differently? What can you learn? Hopefully you've learned something from this. So for me and also Lloyd as well, thank you so much for taking an evening or all the time to watch us. It's been a real pleasure. But what I will do as well is after this, I'll drop a comment in below. I can't do it now, but I'll drop a comment down to Lloyd's group. So if you want to join Lloyd's group, you can see that on Facebook, his Northern Ireland group. Also, if you want to get in contact with him, you can contact him through that. But again, just going back, thank you to everyone watching. And Lloyd, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Fantastic. Take care. Bye-bye.